When you wish upon a star, your dreams come true. Hello, welcome to Music and Stuff again with me, Rob Lewis. It's, well, thank Kiss, it's Friday, and this week I am doing my second review of the 1978 solo albums by Kiss, and last week I did Peter Criss's solo album, which I ranked 8 out of 10. And today it is the turn, you can probably tell by the colour of the background, that today we've got Gene Simmons' 1978 solo album. So, much to talk about on this one. If you've seen my video ranking the solo albums, I'll put it in the top corner if I think of it now. If you've seen that, then you will know that this is actually my least favourite of the albums. But I don't want to start off with that, because sitting down again and re-listening to this, whilst yes, it may still be my least favourite of the four, they're all pretty close, it has to be said. And I forgot what a fucking good album it is. It really is a great album. Yeah, it is. So let's do a bit of housekeeping. So it was recorded in April to July 1978. Various places in the Manor in Oxfordshire, which is only a couple of hours from here. Also at the Cherokee Studio in Hollywood, and Blue Rock in New York City. Obviously released on Casablanca label. Produced by Gene Simmons and Sean Delaney, and obviously Gene Simmons providing vocals and, surprisingly enough, guitar. Yes, he was Kiss's bass player, but on this album he played mostly guitar, and actually got Neil Jason to play bass guitar for the majority of the songs. It's not without its novelty, this album, so I'll talk about each one as it comes along, but certain little sections, like bits, like you get a bit in a show, you know, there's a few of those. And some guest performers as well. So it was released on September the 18th, 1978, along with the other albums. And at the time, this was the biggest selling. I think it's still the biggest selling, although it's not regarded as the best. It was certainly the biggest selling. Because although Paul Stanley was like the front man, Gene was the star. He was the famous one in the band. And I have to say as well, I want to make this clear, when they decided to do these solo albums, every single member of the band understood the assignment. There's not a weak one. Some people say that Peter Criss is the weakest. I disagree. It's very different, I will say that, as I said in my last video. But it's by no means a weak one. But they all understood the assignment. So here we go with track one, let that motorbike go past. Radioactive. This also had guest musicians Joe Perry and Bob Seger. And in and of itself, it's a cracking rock and roll song, Radioactive. But it doesn't just, that's not all of it. So I don't think the introduction had a separate title. If it did, then I'll include it in a separate track, but as it's presented as one, I have to include the introduction, and this introduction is this gothic, scary, theatrical intro with strings and distorted voices, discordant choirs, and it's really quite creepy. And reading some of the comments on the YouTube thing of it, some people are freaked out by it. It's quite disturbing, and you think, yeah, that's Gene Simmons straight away. As soon as you stick it on, you think that's a Gene Simmons album. But the song goes in a different direction. The song kicks in, and it's just like a Kiss rock and roll number. But it's great. I'm going to give Radioactive an 8 out of 10. Then you get to track 2, Burning Up with Fever. Now this is another one with a little bit. It's got that 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4 intro, and then after that loud intro, you get this soft acoustic guitar that plays really nice, and then one bit that's really, really bad, and it's intentional, and you just hear Gene saying, "Lovely." And then it kicks in with the song. I have to make a special thing here. Donna Summer sings backing vocals on Burning Up with Fever. It's not the best song. I wanted to say that Radioactive would lend itself well to being a Kiss song. I should have also said for Radioactive that it was, when Kiss toured, Radioactive was the song that the band played live, like Tossin' and Turnin' was for Peter Criss to Radioactive, and it was Gene Simmons' single Radioactive as well. So back to Burning Up with Fever. Oh, go on. Yep. He's in Croatia, wants to say his bit. Hello, Holiday Rob here from Croatia. Just want to let you know, if you're enjoying this video, thanks very much for watching, but don't forget to smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, and of course the alarm notification bell so you know when my videos are coming out. And yeah, if you're interested, I've got social network stuff, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, not Twitter though. And I've also got a Patreon, so you can find me there. It's in the description. Links for everything's in the description. And yeah, I'm going to hand you back again, because otherwise Studio Rob gets frustrated. Yep, thanks. I miss it there. It was really nice. Yeah, Burning Up with Fever. It's a decent song. I can't imagine Kiss doing it as a band, but it's alright. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Then you get track 3, See You Tonite. This was the only Kiss solo. Sorry, I'm just doing. Forget that. It was the only Kiss solo album, solo song, sorry, that Kiss played on their Unplugged album from '96 and the Unplugged concert. See You Tonite. You can also see my cover of See You Tonite, which I posted just this week. I'll put a link to that at the end of the video and at the top right hand corner as well. I can't keep putting links in the top right hand corner, I'm going to run out, but there you go. See You Tonite, great little acoustic number. Not many lyrics to it, has to be said. But yeah, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. I quite liked it when Kiss also played it live. Yeah, so then we get track 4, Tunnel of Love. It's got that lovely bass intro that Gene Simmons didn't play. This also features Joe Perry on guitar from Aerosmith and Donna Summer on backing vocals, as well as someone I'm going to mention in a minute. It gets a special mention. Tunnel of Love. Oh, I didn't say this. Did I say 8 out of 10 for See You Tonite? In case I didn't. God, this is so professional, these videos. So that's track 4, Tunnel of Love. It's alright. It's 7 out of 10. It's half decent. Another one I can't really imagine Kiss doing. Then you get to track, as I say, 7 out of 10. Lewis, get your shit together. In track 5, True Confessions, featuring Helen Reddy on backing vocals. It's a fun little song. True Confessions. Another voice you can hear that I'll talk about in a minute. Yeah, 7 out of 10. Not a lot to say about it, to be honest. And you get track 6, Living in Sin. This features Bob Seger on backing vocals as well. I'm living in sin at the Holiday Inn. It's got the hooga hugga vocals in it as well, which I think is Gene Simmons doing. As I said, Bob Seger on backing vocals. Also featuring a little cameo as the voice on the phone, Cher. Yes, that's Cher. Cher and Gene Simmons were dating at the time, and she led her vocal talents and acting skills to the voice on the phone in Living in Sin. Going to give it a 7 out of 10. Then we get track 7, double titled Always Near You and Nowhere to Hide. Now this is a great track. It's I think this, with different lyrics, could have wound up on Music from the Elder. It's got that kind of a feel to it. It's got that sort of a sound to it. It's quite an acoustic sort of song. And it's one of my favourites on the album, which is why I'm scoring it a 9 out of 10. Yeah, 9 out of 10. It's a decent song. Always Near You, Nowhere to Hide. I don't know why it had 2 titles, but it does. But yeah, good track. Like I say, bit of a precursor to Music from the Elder. Maybe with different lyrics, could have even wound up on that album. Track 8, Man of 1,000 Faces. Love this one. It's interesting. I don't really, not so much the lyrics. I like what Gene did with the instrumentation. Used strings really effectively. It's got sort of a Beatles-y kind of a feel to it, which is no surprise because Gene was a big fan of the Beatles. But yeah, it's got these sort of strings and a brass section, but it's not like an orchestral kind of sound. It's used minimally, but very, very well. And I guess we have Ron Frangipane to thank for that, for the symphonic arrangements, and he was also the conductor of the New York and Los Angeles Philharmonic Orchestras who performed. But I don't know which one did this song because there's another one later on with an orchestra. That's A Man of 1,000 Faces, 8 out of 10. Number 9, Mr. Make Believe. Another sort of acoustic-y kind of song. Not much to write home about. Decent track. I'm going to give that 8 out of 10. Then you get to track 10. See You in Your Dreams, featuring Rick Nielsen from Cheap Trick on guitar. And yes, it is a remake of See You in Your Dreams from Kiss's album Rock and Roll Over. Now when Kiss did it, they did it in E flat, but Gene Simmons does it in E, I think that's right. Certainly in standard tuning. Because apparently Gene was never happy with the final recording for Rock and Roll Over, so he wanted to do it again. Fine. And do you know what? I think he's right. I think this is the superior version. And I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. I haven't reviewed Rock and Roll Over yet, but I will, and I'll mention that then. So, I mentioned a voice that sort of echoes through the whole album. And that's Katie Sagal. Yes, Katie Sagal, who played Peggy Bundy in Married with Children, Leela in Futurama. She was the mum in 8 Simple Rules for Dating My Daughter, and possibly most well known for playing Gemma Talamoro in Sons of Anarchy. I was always under the impression she was uncredited. She is credited as Kate Sagal in background vocals. Obviously, she went on to have a very illustrious career as an actress, and you know, she did some songs for the Sons of Anarchy soundtrack. Great voice, and you can actually really hear her, particularly in Burning Up with Fever, Tunnel of Love, True Confessions, and See You in Your Dreams. Her voice stands out. You can if you know her voice, then you can really hear her singing. So yeah, kudos to Katie Sagal for her appearance on this album when she was relatively unknown. But that's not the end of the album. Then we get to track 11, When You Wish Upon a Star. Now this is a cover of the track from Pinocchio. Is it Pinocchio? I think it's Pinocchio. The level of research I've done here. Let's look it up. Let's look it up. Da-da-da-da. When You Wish Upon a Star. Yeah, Pinocchio. I was right. See? I didn't need to do that. Do I cut that or leave it in? I don't know. When You Wish Upon a Star. Now I know a lot of people diss this song and can't stand it. For me, I love it. Oh, I can't lie. This When You Wish Upon a Star for me is the only 10 out of 10 song on this album. I absolutely love it because it's quirky, because it's a juxtaposition. I love it. I really do. And Gene sort of said that it was when he came to America he couldn't speak English but he had a dream and made a wish and it comes true and that kind of stuff. Might be crap, you don't know, but I love it. I love the arrangement, and do you know what I love most of all? Gene's voice. Throughout this whole album, I think is possibly the best example of Gene Simmons' vocal talents. That guy could sing back in the day. He could do the soft ballad stuff as well. It wasn't just up to Paul and Peter to do that. He could really do it. And his voice in When You Wish Upon a Star, particularly the note at the end, top notch. Whether you like the song or not, you cannot knock Gene Simmons' voice in that song. So yeah, When You Wish Upon a Star, 10 out of 10. So there you go. My least favourite Kiss solo album. And it still comes up 8 out of 10. I know Peter Chris's was 8 out of 10. I think it had like 1 point below it because how I work it out, maths, you know. It worked out as 79%, whereas Peter Chris's was 80%. So that's how it goes. But yeah, great album. Great artwork, obviously, as are all of the albums. And I forgot who actually... Oh, right, so Eraldo Carugati, who painted all 4 of the solo albums, the covers, and they all had their own kind of colour theme. Peter Chris's was green, Gene Simmons was red, Paul Stanley's was purple, Ace Frehley's was blue. But yeah, that's the Gene Simmons solo album. Great stuff, 8 out of 10, can't knock it, and it's my least favourite. So next week will either be Paul Stanley's solo album or Ace Frehley's, I don't know. In the meantime, don't forget to check out See You Tonight, and all the other stuff I've got on this channel. It's not just Kiss, if you like Oasis or Doctor Who or Quantum Leap or Red Dwarf or other stuff, bits and pieces, or just like to hear me playing some music, that's all on here as well. So I really appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Catch you later, Bill and Ted. What it is I need is like a 20-second clip that I can put at the end of each video. You know how other YouTubers do it, whether I have at the end of a video like 4 things on the screen, it's, you know, like and subscribe, that kind of stuff. I just need something like that, but I don't know what to put.